A 19-year-old girl was found dead in the freezer. The hotel is affiliated with the police department. The hotel bio research place is affiliated. The crematory place is affiliated. Everything that about that hotel is affiliated with that police department in Rosemont. They have the same address. 2 live videos that was posted by those 2 people that's affiliated in gangs, posted live videos in details about what happened to Kanika, what was going to happen to Kanika. All that's facts to the case. Everything else is the images, is made up, said, and everything. Y'all people have to understand. Y'all got to figure out what's true and what's fake. And even the fake shit, I keep telling y'all over and over, the fake stuff also is telling us the real deal.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and Let's Talk Live. Ladies Night, Part 2, hosted by Charnetta Positive, vides only. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I am here. I am back live. And I am going to talk about some things, peoples. People's Ladies Night, Part 2, hosted by Charnetta. Positive vibes only. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, I am here and I am back, and I am back to talk about Ladies Night. Now, this is backed by popular demand, peoples. This is backed by popular demand. Now, I have been asked to go back into the archives and go back and play back some of the videos that we used to do back in the day, because the people wanted to see some of the lives that we have done and things. Now, peoples, this is a rerun of a live. I don't know exactly what the contents is or what is being said on the lives, but understand that these are old lives. So if there's ever been some controversy or anything that ever pops out in these lives, understand it's an old live, and that was just old news back in the day. It ain't nothing but internet, peoples. I think we have grown far above and beyond any mess, madness, and confusion. I think that you guys will come to love and respect that what was said and done back in the day, because as I stated, we were all on one accord at one point. We were all best friends at one point. And that is the type of memory that I want to try to reflect while I am playing back these lives. As you know, peoples, back then, oh my God, everybody was together. Everybody was on one accord, and everybody came to watch my lives day and night. We had a good old time, and I wanted you guys to be able to sit back, relax, and reflect upon the camaraderie that we had back in the day. Now, as it states for today, peoples, I mean, everybody has a little difference in opinion, and everybody is all in their feelings and this and that and the other. But that is okay, peoples, because at the end of the day, we're still here. We're alive, thank God. And we are still doing the various things that, we continue to do. And whether or not that you guys are on one accord, I'm on one accord with all of you, because I have nothing up against any of you. And so with that said, people, let's sit back, let's relax, get you some Ethiopian coffee, and let's enjoy these lives. Let's enjoy the memories that has been made, peoples. So again, peoples, it is Ladies Night, hosted by Charnetta. Positive vibes only. peoples. You guys be blessed, peoples, and let's get in here and let's watch the live peoples. Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and Let's Talk Live, Ladies Night, Part 2, hosted by Charnetta, Positive Vibes Only. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I am here, I am at home, and I am on the chat. Peoples, since we have been doing the positive vibes, the young ladies had decided that they wanted to come on and do another session of positive vibes, Ladies Night Part 2. So tonight, Miss Charnetta, she is going to host the live on tonight. All ladies, you guys come on in. You guys come on in. Charnetta, I don't think that your device is connected, so you have to connect your microphone so you can come on in. So, ladies, you all come on in and stuff and join the live. This is going to be a wonderful night on tonight. Charnetta, I don't think that your mic is connected. It says you need to connect your mic before you can be able to connect. So, ladies, y'all come on in. Y'all come on ahead and support the channel. Support Miss Charnetta. Support each other. Come on and let's have a conversation. Charnetta, if you can hear me, you have to connect your microphone so you can be able to come on to the live. You have to connect your microphone. You have to disconnect, reconnect, and turn on your microphone. Okay. Nope. Your microphone is not connected, so you have to connect your microphone. So when you first come on, you have to check your mic and see if your mic is connected. So disconnect your live and then reconnect your live. Make sure that your microphone is connected. Okay, peoples, come on in and support the live, support the chat. Miss Charnetta, she's going to be hosting the Ladies Night Part 2 on tonight. So you all come on in and you all come on and join the live. So Charnetta, disconnect your live here and then reconnect. So I'm a okay, so I disconnected that. Now come on and reconnect on the live. Nope. Your microphone is not connected. It's telling me that your device is not connected, so you have to connect your microphone. People, I've gotten some interesting news on today. I've been told that Shemaya is on. Okay, there we go. Hello, Miss Dora. How are you?
All right. How are you, Edwin?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. I'm just waiting for Charnetta to come on in. She doesn't have her microphone connected. Just trying to see if she can get that straightened out. I got some interesting news on today. I heard that Shemaya is not doing too well. I heard that she is brain dead.
What happened to her?
She got shot in the head.
What?
Hello,
Hello.
Charnetta.
Can
How
you hear
are
me?
you?
Hey,
Yes.
Yes.
Charnetta. What a wonderful
Hi.
surprise. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Am I too loud?
No, you sound very good.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Charnetta and Mother Dora here, and this is Ladies Night Part 2. Charnetta is going to host the Ladies Night Parts 2, Positive Vibes. All right, so you all have the platform.
Oh, wait, Edward. Finish what you were saying about Shemaya.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, well, I heard that Shemaya had, well, we know that she had got shot in the head, but I heard that she is brain dead now and that she is on life support. And at any given time, the family can go ahead and take her off of life support. This is
Oh,
one of the
wow.
reasons why that we haven't been hearing from her. So I just wanted to kind of see if anybody else has any more news up on that and
I
things.
haven't heard anything. My prayers are with the family.
No, me either.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I know because they were saying this is one of the reasons why nobody has heard from her, and this was one of the reasons why. This is one of the reasons why you haven't seen any posts from her and things.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought she just left town.
No, that was Monifa.
Monifa. Okay, Shemaya. Yeah, Shemaya is the one. I'm getting mixed up. Shemaya is the one whose brother got killed.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Wow.
So her brother got killed, and then she ended up getting shot in the head, and she got shot up 5 times. So I don't
Yeah.
know what all
Right.
hit her, but they said that she got shot in the head.
Yeah, and they said they couldn't remove the bullet, so it must have moved a little bit.
Yeah. So they.
Right, because she was talking from the hospital bed, right?
Yeah, she was released and everything,
Right.
but they couldn't remove the bullet because it was so close to an artery, I guess, or whatever. So they
Well,
had to leave it in there. So it probably shifted or something.
yeah. Well, now the report is that she's on life support.
My prayers are with the family. That's a lot for one family, 2 people, 2
Yeah.
children.
Wow.
Yeah. This is really something.
Wow. Any life lost is a tragedy.
Yes, that's true. I totally agree with you, Mama Doris, on that part.
Lord Jesus.
Wow.
You know,
Mhm.
I kind of have mixed feelings and things because on one hand, I kind of want to say that's what she gets, but then on the other hand, the humanity side of me saying,
Yeah, and
this
her
is
family have to
tragic.
go through. Yeah,
Yeah.
the loss of for her family, 2 children
Hmm.
in the same year. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
that's a
This
lot
is,
on the parents.
oh my God, yes. And see now
Yeah,
on
but
that
we
aspect,
have. Go ahead.
no, I mean I was going to say on that aspect, that's what I was kind of saying because you look at it all the way around, it's a tragedy.
Yeah, yeah. These kids, they do stuff, and they don't know if something like even if some kids don't even care, they be like, I don't care if they take me out tomorrow, whatever. However they talk, they leave their parents behind, their sisters, their brothers, their children. It hurts them. They leave them behind to mourn for them.
Yeah.
So it's bigger than
Yeah,
them.
that's why we have to be careful about, what we say at this time, you know,
Right.
because
Yeah,
you
because
reap what you
it's not
sow.
the parents' fault.
That's
It's not
right.
the kids' fault. Her sisters, her brothers, her cousins, her grandmother. No,
And
so
that's
yeah, that's what my compassion goes out to.
and that's really interesting, you know, because when I was asked to do this, you know, I was thinking, okay, how we gonna elevate the ladies' night from last night?
Mm-hmm.
And what I was thinking is on this same level of what he is saying.
Yeah.
If if the mother is the first teacher of the child,
Mm.
where are the mothers with
Mm-hmm.
all of these children, young adults involved?
Right.
Right. Well,
That's what my topic was going to be tonight.
sometime in them instances, you see the young teenage kids partying with the parents. That's where some of that comes from. Some of the kids party with the parents as young teenagers. They're not supposed to drink and all this type of thing, but they're allowed to do it with the parents sometimes. It's not every instance, but
Yeah. Hi, Kelly. Welcome to the chat. But yes, that's what I wanted to discuss with
Hey, Kelly.
the ladies tonight,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm in my mid 50s,
Mm-hmm.
and as long as I can remember, Chicago has been riddled with gangs like Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing that some of the gang members' parents were gangs,
Mm-hmm.
it makes me wonder, where are the mothers? You understand what I'm saying? We're talking generational at this point.
Yeah, a generational curse or generational stronghold,
Right.
Right.
for
Where
lack of better
are
term.
the women of these households? Are they all gang members? How do you keep your child from being involved in such activities? And I say Chicago because my mom was originally, she was born in Chicago. And
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother, she left Chicago when my mother was like 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that what gives me a kind of a little link, you know, with what happens there, because that's like
Right.
my mother's birthplace.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes you wonder, it's a lot of kids that has died, that has been dying.
Yes.
What is it about Chicago that they can't shake or get away from, or keep their children away from that gang or those gang mentalities? It has to be in the home, number one, and the homes that they're not in. How are your children becoming involved in such activities and you
Some
not know about it?
Yeah, well, some of these parents have to work, and they can't be there with their the kids all the time, and that's not going to say that they get up with gangs. There's not enough stuff out there for these younger children. And the thing about it is, not only are a lot of young adults and young children dying, is there's no investigations. It's all swept under the rug, like they're expendable to society, the society of Chicago, a lot of different places. I'm from Boston, and well, I was born in South Carolina. All my family is from South Carolina, but my mother brought us up here as children, and it's a lot of gang stuff here too. But the thing about it is, you can have like 9 children brought up in the same house, and they come out 9 different ways. You know,
Right.
we was brought up in the church. My mother adopted 6 kids, and we always had foster kids in and out of the home. And a lot of the kids, half of the kids are still into the church, and still in the choirs or organists and stuff like that, working in the church. You know, and a couple
Yes.
of them aren't, but most of them, um, not too many. Well, none of my mother's children went into a gang. Maybe 1 or 2. You know.
Because, okay, I'm from Michigan, and my parents they were separated. Uh, None of my brothers are involved in gangs, you know. We were latchkey kids, you know.
Yeah.
So I wondered, because we keep making mention of, um to stay on topic with Kanika Jenkins, she was
Right.
reared up in such an environment.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me want to know about the mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some mothers, because they're not with the fathers and things, has to be the rear bearers. They're the ones who had to kind of like scrape up and scrounge and do other extracurricular activities just to try to make ends meet and stuff. And so, with that being said, you know, um, it it's to a degree to whereas, okay, well, we have to survive, the best way we can. I mean, some may not have the greatest education and things, and some may have to tend to do certain types of things in order to, keep food on their table and whatnot. And so this is one of the ways of where they know how to, assure that something is coming in. And so when they go that route, then the kids tend to follow suit and stuff. So I kind of understand to a certain degree, but then I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is reality.
Yes, I kind of understand what you're saying, but I'm saying I'm in my 50s, okay? And Chicago has been dealing with gang activities for years, as long as I can remember, even in my early teens, like Los Angeles. Okay. So as a mother, knowing the future, or how Chicago, not the future, but how Chicago is, and a parent would want more for their child, why wouldn't you leave Chicago? Why would maybe I'm not phrasing it correctly, but I'm trying to understand how it's going from generation to generation to generation. What is it about Chicago that they can't break that stranglehold on those gangs?
Well, you
That,
have
I
to
guess that's what I'm asking.
you have to understand is that a lot the Bible teaches us and tells us, these days is going to happen and stuff in the last days that children is going to rise up against parents. There's going to be people is going to be lover of themselves, is going to be lovers of each other, and so on and so forth and all. And so the generational curses is stems from the sins of one of the parents and things, or both of the parents. So all of these things that we're speaking on, when we're trying to figure out, those things happened back in the day, but yet is very prevalent. I mean, very prevalent from today as well. And as far as trying to leave a situation, it's just not that easy to just uproot and go anywhere and things, because it's everywhere. I mean, you may leave Chicago, you may go to Indiana or something like that, and it's still the same thing. So it is a mindset that is instilled into people. So, you have to change your mindset if you're going to change anything, because just changing locations is just not going to be sufficient.
And that brings us back to my point. And like Kelly is saying, her aunt left Chicago to save her sons. So I'm only assuming that, once a lot of people migrated from the South, after slavery and all of that, a lot of people migrated from the South to the North, right? Okay. And my grandparents were a part of that migration. After living there and my grandmother having 3 children, my mother being the second oldest, and I have a younger uncle under her, right? Okay. So it had to be gangs developing during those times, right? Not just mobsters, but we're talking about, if I'm in my 50s, we're talking about 30 years, 35 years ago. That's I'm trying to start at that level of it. Okay. Now, if she left, Kelly's aunt left, how do you knowingly know in this city, this is how it is? This is the culture that's developing in this city. Why can't you leave?
Oh, excuse me. Go ahead.
No, that's my question. Is
Okay.
it, how do it become a mindset?
I think that you know how they say it takes a village, to raise a child. I think
Yes.
the adults dropped the ball on this one. I think that not only the parents, the firemen, the policemen, the mayor, all these people, they dropped the ball. You can tell that they dropped the ball early on just by knowing all the corruption with the higher uppers and all that. And maybe some of them stayed because they had hope. They said, well, if I try this way and try that way, trying different angles to make it work, because they had faith in the society, in the police, in all these people that were dropping the ball, that didn't care about them in the first place. You know what I mean? Because it takes a community. So if they're pushing to get more playgrounds for the kids, more activities for the kids, and if the system is corrupt anyways, and if your children are dying and there's no investigations, that shows that they don't care already. And so why would the community, the higher uppers in the community, make different alternatives for kids, different outlets, instead of them being in trouble? They can go here, they can go to the Y, they can go here, free care for them, you know,
Right.
like after school care for the children, and all that kind of, and all kind of sports for the children and stuff. And they didn't care. We can tell right now they didn't care. So I'm just speculating. They didn't have much stuff for children to do but get in trouble, and then with a lot of mothers want to watch their kids and tell them to stay in the house while they're at work. They hadn't, some of the kids go out the house when the mothers are working, and they get involved into stuff in, these single parent households and stuff. And then you find it in 2 family households.
That's true.
Also, because as soon as they go outside, before they get to the corner store where their mother has sent them, they passing these sort of people, and or they're saying, you're gonna come hang out with me later. Where we're hanging at? We're hanging on the corner. Where we're hanging at? We're hanging here. We're hanging there. It's not we're going to play ball. We're going to do this. Where different communities have baseball games. They're playing against the South Side. They're fighting against the South Side.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
higher uppers dropped the ball, and they were corrupt from the start. And a lot of people didn't know how deep the corruption went. They probably thought it was one or two, and they're trying to get some stuff passed for the children, and it's not passing. Why? Because they do not care. It takes a village, and the village is not responding.
Okay.
All right, people. So I'm going to go ahead and interject as well, or give my little 2 cents and things, because this was a previous live, so their responses is what it is, as it pertains to the live. But as it pertains today, right now, I got some things to say. But I see my peoples came into the house. Hello, Gina, to you. How are you, ma'am? And it's a blessing to see you on today. Gina had says, greetings, Edward and everyone. And Gina had said, spot on, Mother Dora, 1. And then Gina had gave some 100s. I absolutely love and adore Mother Dora 1 and Charnetta. Mother Dora 1 is just a lady of wisdom. And ever since she came to my channel, she has always been one that is just infused with a lot of wisdom. And if you ever sit down and listen to the things that she has to say, you'll learn a lot. And I've always respected that about Mother Dora 1. And I'm glad that the Lord had put upon her heart to come to my life and to come join my lives and things and be a part of this community, be a part of this live, be a part of this channel. I greatly appreciate that. I thank God for that, because He all the time sends me good people. And I really love Charnetta. Charnetta has always been, me and Charnetta just have so much in common. We have so much in common. Charnetta is a no nonsense person, which I'm not a no nonsense person either. Charnetta doesn't like confusion. I don't like confusion either. But Charnetta keeps it real and 100. Just point blank. And that's just the way that I am, you know. And that's why we got along so well in things. I've always loved and respected Charnetta, just for who she is and things. And I mean, and I'm not to say that I am more partial to Charnetta to all of the other ladies and things and stuff, because everyone of them has their own unique, characteristics and things, and I love all of them, But I'm just speaking upon Charnetta right now because she's the one who's hosting a live. And so me and Gina, we was talking earlier and stuff, and it just came to mind. It's like, something. Let me go ahead and play back some old lives and things so the people can see how Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live was and how all of the ladies came together in solidarity. Came together to love on each other and things and support each other. And that's what my channel has always been like. I had nothing but ladies, nothing but ladies. Each and every one of them was strong in their own right. And a lot of people say, well, how did you manage to have all of these ladies on your channel? Well, it was through much prayer and supplication. That's it. I can't take credit for none of it because I didn't have the power to keep no one together. But I had to pray every day. and ask the Lord to touch the hearts and minds of the people, and He did that, and we stayed together, you know. And I want the ladies to remember, although everybody may be apart today, I want them to always reflect upon what was. It may not be is today, but what was, and to keep that type of heart that you had back in the day, and never forget that, regardless of whatever may have been said or done in things, and this is me, people. I don't hold grudges up against people. I don't. I'm not that type of person that get mad and stay mad at a person forever and a day. Now, many of you talked about me, many of you ridiculed me and scorned me and, did all of the likes under the sun and tried to embarrass me and this and that and the other. But at the end of the day, I forgave each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. I forgave you. Some I still talk to and some I don't. Some I had a big blown out with and I still talk to today. And some of you I don't. But understand, it ain't me, it's you. You're the one who's holding on to all of this madness. You're the one who's holding on to yesterday's memories and things and stuff. I've moved on. I go to sleep every night, sleeping real good, not even thinking about you. And some of you just can't leave well enough alone. Some of you, are ingrained into keeping up mess, madness, and confusion, and which I don't understand. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. It's what it is. But it doesn't affect me because I can't allow people to affect my space and to affect my place. You see what I'm saying? See, whenever you get to the point to where you allow people to consistently and insistently bring you down and things, well then, it's time to go. It's time to go. You're not that valuable enough in my life for me to keep you up on my mind and occupy space in my place. Occupy space in my mind, or in my heart, in my conversations. It's just crazy, people. It is. I come to realize how some of you really are, because some of you have really shown your true colors. Some of you have really shown your true nature, your heart. And it's very discerning to me because it's that, never thought in a million years how some of you can be so cold and callous. And it's incredible. But that's the type of heart you have. Now, you may live a miserable life. You may not have no friends. You may be a recluse in things. You may be to the degree to where people really don't want to be around you or be bothered with you and stuff. And then you try to twist that around and make it seem like it's everybody else. No, it's you. It's you. Some of you got some cold, cold hearts. And it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Some of you can't leave well enough alone. People talked about you. People said this and that and the other. And you still tripping off of that madness today. And that's been 8+ years ago. Or probably less than that and stuff. But it's been many years, I should say. And you still holding on to yesterday of what they said about you. People, it ain't nothing but internet. You know how many times many of you talked about me, talked about my family, talked about my kids, talked about my mama? Yeah, it hurt it. It hurt it because I'm human. But see, the thing is, I will never come on here and allow you to browbeat me and beat me down and not say anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? No, I'm not here to take nobody's abuse. Period. I don't care who you are and things, you know. But you got to understand I'm human too. I have feelings. And it's very disheartening to see some of you act in a manner to which you're acting. Some of you got some cold hearts. You couldn't even come and send your condolences to the people who you used to politic with. And that hurts. It really does. It hurts. Whether you like 82 or you didn't like 82, or whether you like some of the other ladies that didn't like some of the other ladies and things, I did. And I had a purpose and a plan for each and every one of the ladies, every last one. And so when they came to my channel, I welcomed them with open arms. But I have to be open and candid, because the way that I am with them and the way that I was with them back in the day is the way that I am today. I've never changed, people. It's my personality, my attitude, everything. None of that stuff really changed because I am who I am today. You know, I am who I am today. And they can tell you that. When I talk to them and stuff, you know, I'm not no Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, I get upset when people come in with their hilarious and nefarious attitudes and mantra and doing all of this stupid stuff. But for the most part, you know, I'm easy going. I'm just a person that loves conversation. I'm just a person that loves to analyze things and, you know, talk about things and whatnot. I'm a person, I'm a people's person. I like for people to come together and, you know, we chalk it up and we do things and stuff. You know, that's just the way that I am. But some of you are not like that. And that's why I had to push away from some of you, because you're toxic. You got a toxic attitude. And you can never see the silver lining in the cloud. It's always raining and jury on the other side of the rainbow. And I don't want to be in that type of area to where it's always time degradation. That's not me, people. That is not me. If you can never see the positive attributes in a person, and you're all the time pointing out the negative things about a person, well, you know what I say? Examine yourself first before you ever speak about anybody else. Take a retrospective look at your life and see how things is going for you. You know? And don't be so quick and so judgmental upon everything. Oh my God, peoples. You know? Learn to find some good in even in the most negative person. See, people, I know how to handle negative. When people are just negative and they just come negative and that's all they think negatively and act negatively and things like that, you don't want to be around them. But I've learned how to combat that because I challenged them by looking in the mirror that they're trying for people to reflect. See, the thing about Edward Joseph is this. I can look in the mirror and I can see my reflection, but when I look into you, you don't mirror me. You don't mirror me, you mirror yourself. And when I say that, you mirror your selfishness. You mirror your conceitedness, your high and mightiness. You know, some of you, I'm glad that you're gone because now I ain't got to sit here and have to even deal with your madness. Some of you, I'm glad that you chose to leave yourself because you wasn't doing me no good. You wasn't doing the channel no good. So why even have you hang around? You know, it's incredible, people. See, when I have conversations with some of you, it's always about somebody else. But you never take a retrospective look as to whether or not you may be at fault. It's always somebody else did this, somebody else did that to you, but did you ever start anything yourself? Because see, when your name keeps rising, but then you're the common denominator. You can't blame nobody else for the various madness that you present yourself. And then you want to sit up here and talk about others. Well, don't try to talk about others. Just like Michael Jackson said, look at the man in the mirror and ask him to change his ways. That goes for the ladies too. You got to change your ways, peoples. Because not everybody's going to want to be around you. I'm not toxic. So I can't stand toxic people. I abhor toxicity. I can't stand confusion, mess, and madness. I can't stand hilarious and nefarious people who's all the time negative and don't have nothing good to say. You see what I'm saying? I can't stand people like that. Can't be around people like that because it's draining after a while. I mean, you hear the juicy news, you get it and stuff. It becomes interesting just only for a moment. But then when you get that day in and day out, oh my God, boy, no, don't call me. Don't come on my live. Don't say nothing to me. Don't even be around me because I can't stand toxic people who never take a retrospective look at themselves, but all the time being judgmental upon others. Learn to stop being judgmental, people, and learn to start opening up your heart and start loving up on the people. Love the hell out of them. And then that way they won't give you no issues. When you love the hell out of them, you have to learn how to kill people with kindness. You got to destroy the yoke, peoples. You got to destroy the yoke. It's like the song I used to sing. His yoke is easy and his burdens are light. I used to sing that song all over, everywhere, all across the bay, at church and everywhere. But see, this is one of the reasons why I can't really get along with many of you, because you come in with that toxic nature. You think I don't see you, but I see you. But see, I've learned to ignore that madness. I've learned to ignore you and to move on and to continue to keep doing the various things that I need to do, because see, some of you are just a major distraction. That's all you want. It's just to take me off my narrative and want me to focus upon you and scream and holler at you. Many of you just want to see that bad side of Edward Joseph. But see, I've learned how to keep that side of me under lock and key. With chains and a padlock in things, throwing away the key, never to rise again. I had promised myself I refuse to allow anybody to take me out of character. I just refuse to, because it's not me, peoples. It's not me. I'm a godly person. I fear God. I love God. I thank God. I bless God. I honor God. I lift him up because he's worthy to be praised. But see, the thing is, peoples, I'm just not going to bow down or bend down to mess, madness, or confusion. I had enough. Those days is over with, And so I said, well, let me take it back to the time to when we were all together. We were all on one accord, all of the ladies and things. before the insults and the this and the that, the back and forth and things like that. And I was still asking Gina, I don't even know what happened. I don't understand what happened that everybody decided that they wanted to break apart. Maybe they saw the true nature of the people and decided, hey, I don't want to be around them. Which I was trying to keep everybody together. Everybody went their own separate ways. But it is okay. It's okay, peoples. Because see, the thing is, one thing I have learned by living on this earth that, you know, nothing lasts forever. So you got to take every moment as if it's your last and enjoy it while you can. And then forge and make the memories. So whenever you sit down and you want to think about something, you look up on some good memories. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? So when I was going through, because my mother had passed away, because I'm my mother's child, I'm my mama's baby boy. Yes, I'm spoiled rotten, but that is okay because that's just the way that it is. I haven't asked you for anything. I don't need to ask you for anything. Anything that I need, God always provides. So, there it is. But I thank God. I thank God for sending good, wholesome people my way. I'm blessed, people. So I'm blessed beyond measure. You know, I'm blessed, and I am blessed to have had a lot of beautiful ladies. But in the midst of all of that, peoples, I have learned too that not all of the ladies has a good heart. You know, not all of the ladies, not all of the ladies have a good heart. But that was okay because I learned to love the hell out of them. When I wasn't in a good space and stuff, they loved upon me. They loved the hell out of me. So I've learned to love the hell out of them and move on. And if I can't get to them, then I just continue to just move on. Don't look back, people. So I don't. I forge forward, never looking back. Do you understand what I'm saying? Never looking back. Keep your hand on the plow and keep plowing forward. Because see, the thing is, whether they be here or whether they're not, it's okay. It's okay because you had to enjoy the time while it was there at that particular time, and I did. I did. But it's by popular demand that the people wanted me to go back to the days of old, to be able to see what it was like back in the day, the early part of Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live. See, we transcended peoples many times over and stuff. And some people I still keep up in contact with, and some people I don't. But the people who I don't, bless them. I don't have nothing bad to say about them and stuff. Because see, the thing is, peoples, every individual will show themselves. All you got to do is just continue to keep watch, fight, and pray, and just look, and then just just listen. And when you listen attentively with your heart, not just with your mind, not just with your ears, but listen with your heart. And if the person is genuine, well, then you found something wonderful. But if they're not, well, then you'll notice that right off the bat. Everybody has an intuition, peoples. And you need to follow that little voice that tells you, hey, you know, because that little voice is only there to protect your mental, your space, your happiness, your peace, your joy, your tranquility. So listen to the voice, peoples. Listen to the voice and thank God for the voice. Thank God that he whispers to you. Because see, anytime God needs to get your attention, he don't have to talk loud. All he has to do is just whisper. And he's trying to see, are you available? Are you here with an open heart? Or are you here with a closed mind and a foul mouth? Well, we went through that, peoples. But that's okay because we got through it. And this is why I play back the lives and stuff, because, you know, I had to go back and listen to the voices of the people, you know, had to go back and listen to the voice of the people because, see, when Charnetta speaks and when Mother Dora One speaks, I'm always listening. Well, I listen to everybody, but I listen even more so attentively to them because it is a lot of knowledge and it's a lot of wisdom. It's a lot of understanding, you know. And if you really listen attentively, you'll learn something. And that's with everybody, but certainly with them too. I love them dearly and I respect them to the hilt, you know. I do. And like I say, people, this live is not intended to bring confusion, bring bitterness, bring wrath, bring anger towards nobody and stuff. Because, like I said, when I'm playing back these lives, I don't know what the lives is going to be about. I just know that this is a title that I have, and you know, I want to rekindle the moment. And so that is exactly what we're doing right now. Is rekindling the moment and stuff. And so you guys sit back, relax, and listen attentively because every last one of the ladies has a story to tell. And it's their story. It comes from their heart. It comes from their lips. And the best way to be able to understand is to listen. You got to listen to learn, and you got to learn to listen. And peoples, when you do that, then I guarantee you, you'll learn a lot. I've been doing these lives for almost 9 years now. 9 years been on live, been on a combination of YouTube and Facebook. Almost 9 years. And I tell you, I wouldn't give this up for nothing in the world. This is what keeps me happy. Because I was going through a depression at one point, you know. Like I say, I lost my mother. I lost my brother. And that hurt it like you wouldn't believe. And then I lost some good friends along the way. And 82 was one of my good friends. And I'm still hurt, people. So I am. You know, it's just some things I just can't let go. I really can't. And I try to. And ain't no need for me to sit here and shake and fake the bacon. It really hurts to the core, peoples, to be treated in such a way as I'm being treated now. You know, really hurts to the core. And I want the people to know that, you know. See, y'all look at me in 82 relationship and stuff, and y'all just think that y'all know everything, but you don't. You don't understand the conversations we had. I had a person who I mentioned the name on my last live, and she called me up, and we had a good, wonderful talk because I haven't heard from her in some time and things, you know. And she told me that she respects me to the hilt. Although we had our moments, we had our moments of jousting and things like that. But see, this is where this is where when you learn to grow up, when you learn to grow up and set those differences behind you and move on, peoples, then and only then is when you will be able to live and enjoy life. But as long as you sitting around holding grudges against people for some things that they said and done, you ain't ready. You ain't ready. You will always be in a box. And I guarantee you, people, ain't nobody going to want to be around you. You're not going to have no friends. You're not going to have no family. You're going to have nothing. And you're just going to be a miserable soul just existing. And for what? It's really sad, people. It's really sad that some of you are like that. But it's okay. Because, see, the thing is, I loved you from the bottom of my heart. And I gave you the best of me. But I'm not going to allow you to arrest me and lock me in chains behind your madness. Peoples, I said it many times before, and I'm saying it again. Learn to let it go. You got to, people. So that's the only way that you're going to be able to move forward. Learn to let it go. And I have. I have let it go. But I still have to come on and I still have to express to the people what my feelings is because, you know, I'm really hurt. I'm really hurt just by the lack of candor, a lack of respect, a lack of empathy, and a lack of sympathy from the people who I called friend. And that is incredible, peoples. The people who I called friend. And this is the things that I get. It's incredible because it makes me think of Kanika and how she used to sit and laugh and giggle and play and do all of this stuff around these people who she called friend. And at one moment in time, peoples, they betrayed her to the hilt. Now look where she at. You know, it's incredible, peoples. My only thing I'm just want to leave with you, and then I'm gonna let the live play. I sincerely pray that you never get into a situation to where the people whom you shun, you come trying to come back again. I pray. Now, I'm not going to do you like you did me and stuff, but I'm just going to treat you differently. Do you understand what I'm saying? Things ain't going to never be the same of how it used to be. Because the one thing about Edward Joseph, I have a genuine heart. And when I love, when I give, when I show, it is meaningful. But I know a player when I see it. I know somebody who is not really true. And it's just only just like a choir that sings and cannot even give glory to God because it's all sounding brass and tinkling cymbals. That is just making noise and not music. I bid you farewell. I see my people that came into the house. Hello, Mother Door One. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on today. Mother Door One has says, good evening, Edward. Gina to you, mods in chat. Red heart. And Mother Door One had said the vibe was everything. Yeah, it was at one point. Mother Door One had said we used to come here to unwind at the end of most days, not get uptight, discussing the Kanika Jenkins case and more. And that's one of the reasons, people, why I'm playing back the live, because I want the people to see. And for all of the new people that's coming in, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Rumble, and Reddit, I want the people to see. And I'm going to be streaming on Instagram pretty soon, peoples. I just got to hammer out just a couple more things and stuff. And hopefully by next week, I'll be running live up on Instagram. And that's going to get me a lot more attention with a lot more people, fresh new people, you know, and it's going to propel me out to a higher degree, more so than YouTube has ever propelled me. And it's going to be very interesting, people. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to play back some old lives, and then I'm going to be doing some new lives. And I'm going to leave this with you, peoples. As you can see, for over 8+ years, I've talked about the Kanika Jenkins case. I have yet to have one person come onto my live and tell me that of what I was saying wasn't true. Never not had not one person to tell me that. They couldn't argue with me. Because come to find out, people's, when they really did their research, and as we've seen on last night with the videos and pictures and things, it literally confirmed the various things that I've been telling you forever and a day. That Kanika Jenkins is short. She's not tall. She's short. And in TM's mantra, she mentioned about the trainings, and she told you about the trainings that had a party up on the 11th floor. Now you see the difference between the girls who is really Kanika and the girls who played Kanika. Now, you may not even think that that's true, but that's fine. Just go back and watch my lives, and I'll broke it down many times over. Because there is a big and distinct difference in between the girls of Kanika, or the girls who called themselves Kanika. And as I told those YouTubers many times over, now we've seen a video crystal clear of Kanika being in the bathroom with Monifa, and you heard Kanika's voice. Just like I played you back the video of Kanika and Monifa and Shemaya in the video. And that video was taken at the Crown Plaza, peoples. And as you can see, by them being in the bathroom, it takes time, peoples. It takes time. And so you saw a lot of other videos as well, people. So it brought validity to the various things that I have been telling you for years. Kanika Jenkins was at the establishment. But see, the thing is, peoples, you can't even convince me that Kanika walked the halls of that establishment. You can't convince me of that. You can't. A lot of those videos and pictures and stuff that Perfect Weirdo had captured in things had just only validated the things that I've been saying for years. Validated it, peoples. Because my question has always been, get Kanika out of Irene's life, what many of you couldn't do. Because see, when you want to sit here and tell me that all of this stuff happened within a 2-hour period, then I'm just going to look at you sideways and say, yeah, right. You're stupid. Just unadulterated stupid. Because the thing is it's one thing to have a narrative or a theory about what happened to Kanika, and it's another thing to not be able to exegese your narrative. You got to make sense as to the various things that you say. And if you can't make sense of it, people's, then why are you even saying it? Because it just only makes you look stupid. It makes you look hilarious and nefarious. So let's get back into the live, peoples. Let's get back into this live, and hopefully, you guys have learned something. This is Ladies Night, hosted by Charnetta. Positive vibes only. Let's go.
Hi, Island Girl. Hi, Keisha. Welcome to the panel.
Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
Hi, ladies. Good evening.
Hello, evening.
How y'all doing?
Doing great.
We're discussing the where are the mothers of these gang people in the city of Chicago, and why is gang so prevalent and has been for so long in Chicago?
Oh,
Well, for myself, I don't know anything about Chicago. So, where am I supposed to start? I don't know anything about Chicago.
well,
But you can speak as a mother. I
Yes,
have another
ma'am.
question coming. This is just the beginning. I do have another question where you could just speak as a mother.
Okay. Well, I am a DCF worker, and I do a lot of visits for unifications, and from the gentlemen that I take care of, with the young boys are from 12 to 18 years old, they have been involved in some serious stuff, and the mothers are driving the getaway cars, I should say. The mothers are driving the getaway cars while these boys are committing all these heinous crimes. So when they do that, they send them to us at a detention center located out here in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay.
And we have them for about 6 months, the treatment plan. And I don't see how in the world you can treat crisis, intervention, drug problems for kids who have been out on the street, living on their own, doing what they want to do, not listening to the parents. And then they barely want to go home. How do we treat this in 6 months? It can't be treated.
Right.
It cannot be treated. I don't care how we do it or what we do. We do DBT skills, radical stop skills. We do all these skills with these young men, and they still don't understand. You know, we have a lot of staff members that their movement take track of every time they move. It's like every 15 minutes, but they're cussing the staff out. You're not my mother. You're not this, and you're not that. But you can't. You have to use specific words to use with them. But I'm telling you right now, I don't. I cross the line sometimes. I'm like, well, if you didn't do what you did, I mean, beating up old women, stealing their cars, stealing their pocketbooks.
Yeah, because Kelly is saying that her family that had left Chicago because the two older boys joined gangs.
Mm-hmm.
And the mother didn't want them to die, so she moved them south. And the sons kind of resented her, but once they became grown men, then that's when they started to understand that she moved from Chicago to save their lives. So that was just the gist of my question. One of my questions for today is, as a mother, and you see the climate that's going on there, why wouldn't you try to get your children out of that lifestyle as you seen it? Because I believe all parents want the best for their kids and want their children to do better than themselves, right?
Right.
So if you see that this is what the climate is here, we can't always put it on the government. We have to, as parents, we have to take some kind of initiative to save our own seeds, right? So as a mother,
so
is work more important than saving your child's life?
So I'm gonna put myself there. I'm gonna say that I can't answer that question.
Okay.
I'm gonna say right now I can't answer that because I don't know what it is. I just don't know. I mean, I have a teenage son, and I didn't go through this with him, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I can't speak on that.
Okay. What you think, Island Girl?
Well, well, you have to work to take care of your children. You can't stop working because you're trying to watch your children. That's not going to work, because at the end of the day, how you're going to pay your bills, how you're going to pay your rent if you're out trying to keep your child out of trouble. You just have to keep teaching them and letting them know about the streets. But then you have some mothers that doesn't mind their children in game because they're benefiting from it. Like, especially if the child is selling drugs and they're making all this money and they're coming to give the mother money. Well, she's not going to really say anything because she's benefiting from it.
Wow, yeah. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Because like I was saying before you guys came on, it just makes me wonder, because Edward kept saying that Kanika was reared in this lifestyle. That means, she grew up in this lifestyle. So that kind of goes along with what you're saying, Island Girl.
Right.
Well, the thing about with Kanika is, unfortunately, that's the life that TM wanted for her.
Right.
I think if it wasn't enough going on in that neighborhood, TM would have found the neighborhood to move in with so much going on.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because she was part of the problem with teenage kids getting into stuff they shouldn't. Matter of fact, I don't know why TM wasn't arrested a long time ago for depriving the mind of a minor.
Right. Hi, Tina.
Because that's exactly what she does.
Hi, Keisha.
Yeah.
Hey. Again and again and again. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, that is a law that's on the books contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Right. Right. But, nobody cared. The people that supposed to care didn't care, the higher uppers and stuff. Like if the police see something going wrong, they didn't pull her coat. They probably said, well, let me get a date with that little young one there or something like that. They was for that type of stuff. And, which is sad.
Right.
That's why they turned their head. You think that they don't know what Teresa's into, and she's hanging around all them young girls and they dress up a sort of way and they go these sort of places and stuff. You think they haven't dated policemen?
No. Wow.
And put the money in TM's pocket?
That's a good question. That's a good question. That's a good question, Mama Dora.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that far.
So that's what Kanika wanted to get away from. She wanted to get away from that lifestyle. Nobody wanted it for herself, maybe her uncle, but she wanted it for herself. She had the sense to want it for herself, whether nobody else wanted it for her.
Right. Because, it's like I had like a mental picture. Remember, maybe a month ago, Edward played a video with a young lady saying that, how they groomed them. It was like, a class, the stalking part of the game. So that got me to thinking of, okay, when you're in a game, at what point do you use your own judgment than to go through with something heinous?
Right.
Or that is wrong.
Right.
Gang life or not, even if you've chosen to be in a gang.
Right. Right.
At what point
Does your own
do it kick
conscience kick
in?
in?
Right. Does
Right.
it kick in as a human being?
Right. That's right. Instead of everybody pulling the trigger, one or two got to say, "Oh, this isn't right. I can't take a life." You know why? Because you can argue with anybody. If you ever argue with somebody, argument with someone, you always can come back later and say sorry. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Right.
if you was to kill someone, it's final.
It's
You
fine.
can't come back and say you're sorry. They're not going to hear you. You know,
Right.
and some, kids don't see it that way.
Because I grew up, fighting. We didn't hear about shootings,
Right.
until what, the 2000s,
Yeah.
late 90s. So it's
Punks
like
with guns. A bunch of punks with guns.
I guess that's why it's hard for me to wrap my mind around someone a group of friends. I'm gonna put it like that. A group of friends talking me into doing something illegal or immoral based on the teachings that I got at home. Because my mom was like, if you go to jail one time, I'm not coming.
My mama said the same thing. She sure did.
So that made us feel like, well, gee, if you can't call your mama, you can't call nobody.
Yep. So none of us never went to jail when we was in my mama's house coming up. Maybe when we got out of there, but not coming up. We knew better than that. She ain't coming, she said. She's not coming.
So that's why, my question, since we're doing ladies' night, it only makes sense that we should discuss the mothers of these kids.
Right. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry that I couldn't answer that question for you
No.
I wasn't I can't answer that because my children, they didn't go through none. My teenage children didn't go through none of these things, so I can't really say. I know I'm dealing with it with other, so I can't really speak on that, and I apologize for that. So I don't want to say something that I shouldn't say because I really don't know.
There's no need to apologize. I mean, we just having an open discussion. You know what you feel in your heart.
Right. I guess.
Because when we say the government, hasn't provided, things for children to do, and how us as African Americans, have the lack of education been held back, as far as education and opportunities. Yeah, I agree with that. But you can only take that so far to the point that it had to start in the home. And at that rate is the mother of these kids that you have to question.
Yeah, you're gonna run into all different kind of scenarios. There's some that just don't care. There's some that's trying their best, and as soon as they go outside, that's all that's there. And can preach the same thing to your 5 boys, and 3 of them might get it, and 2 of them might not get it. But but what I would say to a parent from Chicago is, if you can, get out of there, and if you can't, make that your end goal. Always strive to get out of there, and I forgot what else I was gonna say. Anyway, go ahead, it'll come back to me.
Anybody else want to chime in?
Well, I think that everybody paint this picture of Chicago, this really bad place. Yeah, it's bad. You know, in certain areas, it's bad. Now, you might have a mother who talks to her children, you know, guide them in the best way that she can. But if that child goes out, and it all depends on who they're hanging with, and they're being peer pressure into doing things. So they're so busy trying to fit in that they're willing to do whatever it takes to please their friends, just to say, well, I have this person as a friend. And then a lot of people look and say, you know, the parent is all on the parent. Yeah, to a certain extent. If you're sitting here and you're talking to your child and you're telling them, you know, this is what happens when you're out in the streets. You know, you don't have to be out in the street. Get all your education, get everything you need, you know, focus on your education. But then you have some kids out here who has that mindset of they just want to do whatever it is they want to do. And they don't care what the mother or anybody else say. Period.
Right.
You know, people, not everybody in every situation is the same. And it really doesn't have to do so much with the location. Now, I know Chicago, you know, a lot of people speak of Chicago and say that Chicago is bad and stuff, but there's a lot of parts of Chicago that is really good that, you know, people go and they're still living, they're still doing and things. The Bible teaches us to train up a child in the way that they should go. So when they get old, they shall not depart from it. So if a parent was to train up the child to the degree to where the child is responsible, respectful, and has a fear of God, well then 9 times out of 10 that child won't get into situations to where it will impede upon a good and healthy lifestyle. But we have to come to reality, people. We have to come to reality. Chicago is hard, as well as a lot of other cities in different states is hard. And we can't sit and blanket. We can't sit and blanket everything. I mean, you know, it's wishful thinking on our part, you know, for the kids to come and to go to school and be productive citizens and things of that nature. And it's easy to blame the government, you know, because okay, well, we can't find jobs, we can't do this, we can't do that. I mean, yeah, it's always some blame to go around. It's always some blame to go around and things and stuff. But for the most part, it all stems with an individual. Now, if an individual don't want to apply themselves and you know wants to be fascinated with all of that beat bop, hanging pants and sagging pants, and you know all of that, and succumb to peer pressure and you know this and that and the other. Well, then, yeah, you're going to be a product of your environment. You're going to be out stealing, killing, robbing, doing all of this crazy crap, getting on drugs and everything. And as soon as you hit those drugs, well, then you're hooked. And it's hard to get off that madness. I know because I had a family member that was hooked up on drugs for a long time. And it hurted my heart to see them go through that and stuff, but it wasn't nothing I could do other than just pray. You know, I had stuff stolen from me and things, personal things that cost a lot of money stolen from me and all. But it wasn't still, again, nothing I can do. So we can sit and we can blanket and we can try to make it seem like, oh, well, yeah, it's just that easy for the kids not to get into gangs there, situations like that. But then we're not in their environment. We don't live where they live. We don't understand the politics that happens on a daily basis and stuff. It's not as easy as many of us project things to be, because we just want to say, okay, well, yeah, just go to school, or just do what your mama said, or do what your daddy said, just learn, or, this and that and the other. But it's hard. And not everybody is coming up the same way. Not everybody has a loving father and mother in their lives and stuff. Or even if they have a father and mother in their lives and things, they may not have a good upbringing. It's a lot of influences. Even the internet is an influence in things. You allow your child to listen to all of this rap music and beatbox music and stuff, and all they know is killing and twerking and doing all of this type of stuff, and you get that madness in your mind, then it comes out your mouth, and then it comes into your actions and things. I don't allow my son to listen to all of that beatbox music and Whipping Wham and Sammy Sam and Tupac and Dougie Fresh and Snoop Dogg and all of that stuff and things, because it may seem cool, but think about it. What are they learning? They're learning how to smoke weed. They're learning how to drape their pants and stuff and sag and talk all of this nonsense and things. That ain't cool with me. And so while you're under my roof, you won't be listening to that madness. Turn that shit off. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm not asking you to listen to gospel music, but you ain't gonna be listening to that madness while you're riding in the car with me and reciting all of those lyrics and stuff and rocking to the beat, and your ass can't get up in there and do your homework. Oh, hell no. Now, see, that's where I put my foot down and say enough is enough. So I don't know how you raise your child or your children, but I never allowed my children to listen to that madness. Now, if they listen to it, they won't listen to it around me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's enough going on than to have these people coming in and rocking to the beat with a hibby to the hip, to the hip hop, to the don't stop, to rocking to the bang bang boogity up to the boogity boogity. Now I grew up listening to that confunction and all like that, but I've only listened to it in passing. I've only listened to it when I was going to parties and things and stuff, but I didn't listen to it on a daily basis. I didn't sit down and have the music blasting in my ear and, allowing that to infiltrate my spirit. I didn't do that. I never drank and never smoked, never did drugs and stuff. I never had a desire to do all of that madness, but I've seen how it impacted my family and impacted my friends. And I said, I won't be like that. Why even try the madness when it's not even necessary? Some of you are just weak-minded. See, I've never been a follower. I've always been a leader. And I've always been cautious as to what I put in my system, whether it be music, whether it be films, whether it be just talking to people. Whatever it may be, I've always been cautious because I'm like, hey, this doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. It ain't good. You know. Now I grew up. I grew up in a Christian home. You know, and things. I grew up in church. See, as me growing up, it was mandated that we was in church morning, noon, night, late night, back to morning, noon, night, late night, back to morning, noon, night, late night. That's how I grew up. You know, I didn't grow up knowing all of this other stuff. I had a I saw it because some of my friends did it and stuff, but see, I didn't allow my friends to influence me because see, I grew up with a strong spirit. I grew up with a strong demeanor. I grew up with a mouthpiece, with a voice, with a strong will. So I wasn't influenced and all of that stuff. See, you guys sit around and y'all think I'm weird when I tell you I don't even know these R&B singers and things like that. I don't know them by name because I didn't grow up. I heard it, but I didn't listen to it. It's the difference between hearing it and listening to it. I didn't grow up listening to it. Teddy Pendergrass and turn off the lights, doon doon, and light a candle. And all of that stuff. Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin, and I heard it, but I didn't listen to it. I didn't sit in the car, got it on KMEL and 107.7 or 106.9. I didn't listen to it. So it was never part of my life. So it never influenced me like it did many of you. See, I'm just a different beast. But see, that's just me. See, we wasn't in and out of prison, in and out of trouble with the law and stuff. I didn't live a sheltered life. But I lived a life that it was good, wholesome, because when I was a child, I played as a child. But when I grew up, I put all of that madness away. And I had to get real, and I had to think about a future for me and my children. I've been the provider. I've been the father that was always there for his children. A responsible father, responsible parent. Some of these fathers out there, they get impregnated all of these women and stuff, but then they don't even know the names of their children, let alone seeing them and things. And then some of you mothers, you woo, I've always been the parent to where you won't touch my child. You put your hands on my child, whether it be my mama, my sister, my brother, my daddy, my friend, their mama, uncle, aunties, cousins, relatives, or whatever. You put your hands on my child, we're fighting. We're fighting. That's just how I was. I was one with a major temper. Touch my child, scream at my child, hit my child. We're fighting. That's death words. I will kill a nigga. And that's just how I was growing up. But that's how I was. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I made sure that my children knew who Edward Joseph is and what I say and what I mean. Now, I can't help it. See, my children didn't grow up being sassy and talking back in stuff like that. Oh, hell, not me. Not me. But that's just how I was. I don't know how many of you are with your children and things. but I didn't let my children be the product of their environment because I kept a close eye up on them. And I talk to my children and I tell them what's right and wrong. And so either you're going to respect me or you're going to get your ass out there and do what you do. You know, it's just simple as that. As long as I'm your father and as long as you underage and stuff, and as long as I am mandated by spiritual law and the law of the land, well, then you're going to obey what I say. Period. And I didn't bring women in and out of my children's life and stuff. You know, I didn't drink, smoke, and do drugs and do all of that stuff around my children. And so, you know, and it was gangs in my days and stuff. I hung with the gangs, but the gangs respected me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hung with them, but I didn't partake in all of that madness that they did. And that's just the way that it was, you know. And I dared any of them to step out of line with me and stuff because, see, I had family. I had backup and stuff, you know. So you can talk all of that woolly popcorn nonsense and things, but I had backup. The OGs respected me. The pimps, the P daddies and things and stuff, you know. And the reason why they respected me is because I had God in my life. And God always protected me from hurt, harm, and danger. Whenever we go out to parties and stuff, you know, rival gang members come and things, they didn't touch me. They didn't talk crazy to me. Because I didn't bow down to that type of culture, to that type of nature. I was just myself. And I didn't look at them like, oh, you know, big boy or whatever, Mac Daddy or whatever. No, you just another person to me. I didn't walk around with fear in my heart. But niggas didn't talk crazy either. So you got some wannabe gangsters around here and stuff that talks all of that woolly popcorn nonsense and things. You know, I've been in a lot of places. I've been in Watts, Compton, Oakland, California. You know, I've been into the rugged areas, seen a lot of stuff, but it never touched me. Never touched me because God didn't allow it to. You know what I'm saying? So don't get hard on the mothers, peoples, because, you know, some of these mothers, they're doing the best that they can. They're doing the best that they can. And you know, yeah, just like Alan said, yeah, you know, you have to go to work. You have to make a living. So you can't be with your kids forever and a day. But see, the thing is that you got to build a relationship with your children. You got to talk with your children. You got to be able to interact and do with your children. Because see, when you have a child, your life ends and their life begins until they get to the point to where they can take care of their own. And then as you age, if you taught them well, they'll take care of you. That's just the circle of life. you know, and it doesn't matter what city, what state, what place you're in and stuff, because you know you got it in you got it in every state, you got it in every town, but it's all about how you carry yourself. And if you instill some goodness into your kids can go out here and live a good, wholesome life, even if you live in a hood. I know a lot of hood rats. But see, I never thought of myself as what they did. You know, I never thought of myself as what they did. I've always had a high regard for myself, and I've always respected myself. And the thing was, if you couldn't respect me, well, then you couldn't be around me. It was a privilege to be around me, you know, because I was special. I had an anointing and still do over my life. And this is why many people gravitate to me more so than me gravitating to the people. God had a special purpose and a plan for me. And I'm still acting it out to this very day. You know? See, when you know what you know, then you know. But if it was in you, then it's in you. And if it's not, then it's not. You know, you can't force nobody to like you. You can't force nobody to be around you and stuff. You just got to know who you are and stand your ground at all times. And speak your truth. Whether the people want to hear it or not. Whether the people like it or not. Whether the people accept it or not. But see, you got to have an unconditional love for yourself first before you can go out and try to love anybody else. You got to think good of yourself before you can go and try to think good of anybody else. See, I don't give praises to other people and bow down to other people. I've never been that type of person. And I teach my kids, don't you ever sit here and be a wuss. You're better than who you think you are because you are the king's child. And your father is in heaven and your earthly father is here to give instruction. But you fear your father in heaven first. And then you respect me as your earthly caretaker. And so that's what it is, peoples. When you love God and you have a fear of God, then you'll learn to love yourself. And then when you learn to love yourself, you'll learn to love others. And then when you learn to love others, peoples, a lot of that times that will be reciprocated. But the people will respect you, especially when you carry yourself. People know greatness and people know weakness. But I'm here and I'm ready to finish listening to what the ladies has to say. Because as Keisha said, you know, she couldn't answer certain questions and stuff because her children wasn't raised like that. So let's see what they have to say.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I
kind of like
know.
what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that yeah, besides either leaving right now or leaving when you can, the best thing that I could say to a mother in Chicago is to do your best to instill in your child the right way to go. Try to read, no matter how hard it is, try to rear your child up in the right way which it could go. So you have 5 boys. instilling them every day which way to go, which way to go. Although they all might not go in the right direction, at least you did your best to still introduce them to God, take them to church.
Peoples, isn't that what I just said? I just told you that. I literally just told you that. This is why I love Mother Dora 1 so much, because she is just a person with so much wisdom. See, y'all be thinking that is just hard. People's, it ain't hard. If you learn how to have a good, wholesome relationship with Christ, it ain't hard, peoples. But you got to understand that life is going to life. Life is going to be lifing, you know? And whatever God has for you is for you. It ain't for nobody else. It's for you. And everybody's got some life lessons to learn. And sometimes life may not be a bed of roses, but it's okay. Because see, when you get older, peoples, all of that madness that you did as a young lad or young lady, life has a way of teaching you how to love and respect yourself and learn and love to respect others. Y'all just be thinking everything is so hard. The reason why it's hard because you still haven't learned. Once you learn, things becomes easier. And a lot of this stuff that you guys be sitting around worrying about, you ain't even got to have a care in the world, because if you know the word, God already told you he will provide according to his riches in glory. All you got to do is ask, peoples. And the reason why you never receive, because you never ask. Learn to ask and learn to keep the faith wholeheartedly, even in the roughest of times. Yeah, it'll waver. It'll waver because, you know, you're not used to it, but it's okay. God may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. Sometimes the Lord will allow you to be in challenging moments and stuff just to see if you're going to keep the faith. And you're going to have some crying times, people. So you're going to have some severe moments. But it's okay. Because it's just like what James Cleveland said in his song. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me now. And see, God is a God that he just cannot lie, because he said in his word, I will never leave you nor forsake you. The righteous will never be forsaken, nor his seeds begging bread. That's God's word. And when you learn God's word, then you learn to trust in him and you learn to do what he say do. But if you haven't learned, yeah, you're going to go through some stuff. But it's okay, peoples, because that is just building blocks. That is just only set in your path for a reason to help you. So learn to grow. Is that all right, peoples? I love you. Now let's listen in.
There's church activities you can get them into.
Right.
So that's an option.
But then you also got to understand that a lot of the fathers is not in the picture. And you have some fathers that's actually game banging with their children.
Yes, yes.
So it's hard for the mother to try to keep that child away if the father is gang banging with his son.
Okay, people. So my question is, whose fault is that? You knew the man was game banging in the beginning. You knew what he was doing. You knew he was selling drugs and doing all of this stuff. You laid with him. So since you knew in the beginning how this man is, what is your complaint? I said, what is your complaint? See, a lot of you ladies, y'all mesmerized about all of this madness, by the gold teeth and the jewelry and all of this lingo type of madness and stuff. Hey, would it be like brother and brother man and all like that? And that swagger, that swag is what they call them. I'll call it Negro conversations, niggerish conversation, ignorance conversations. Y'all be mesmerized by that madness. And once he impregnates you and stuff, now, where are you? Are you going to help me out? Hell no. You was just a fling. You was just a thing. He looked at you like a piece of meat on a string. Now you left trying to raise a child on your own. Now, who do you blame? I said, who do you blame?
It's hard. And then people look at the mother like she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing. Well, if she's trying to take him to church and try to talk to him about God and trying to show him, there's a better life that he can have. Well, when you have a father who's going up against what she's trying to teach that child, it's hard. It's hard because the son, you have some sons that's gonna rock with their father.
They want to be just like daddy.
Just like daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have some sons that will go in the direction of the mother. Not a whole lot, but you have some that will. But you have a lot of them that actually wants to, like you said, be like the father. They gang bang with the father, because the father was in the game. And then they see that their father was in the game and they were making all this money and they was killing people and doing this. So they think that's something, and now they want to do the same thing that the father is doing.
Right. Now, well, you finna say something, Edward?
Yeah, can I ask the question? What was the question again?
We're still on the same topic of where are the mothers of these children or young adults that's in gangs.
Okay, I just wanted to just kind of throw a little 2 cents in because, to kind of piggyback on what everybody's saying. And then two, people's acknowledge the people's in the chat because they're giving commentary and giving responses as well. But what I wanted to say is that we have to be very careful when we are giving our narratives or commentary and things, because we can easily fall into what they call tunnel vision. I mean, we want to paint this rosy picture that yes, life is grand, life is great. We can easily just get up and uproot and move away and have, life as we want it to be and things. But that's not always the case. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go or what you do in life. It's what you choose to do. And sometimes it's, the kids doesn't have really all of those opportunities and things. And so, they're part of what the society is around the neighborhoods that they had to grow into and stuff. And so, you know, we are so critical when things just doesn't fall the way that we see it to be. Well, we don't live in their reality. We may have been blessed to have a mother and father, brother and sister, grandparents and things like that. Some people don't even have that. Some people don't even were brought up with some total strangers and stuff, when parents had left them on a doorstep and somebody had went and took them in, and then when they got old or of age, they abused them or things of that nature. So we have to be very cognizant as to how we look at things and stuff, because it's not easy to raise a child, and all mothers is not all the same, you know and everybody life is different. So when we look at the life not in a funnel but as a whole, and can truly understand and appreciate mothers for what they do, and for mothers that what they don't do, I mean, everybody is doing their best.
I totally agree with you. And I was finna, once Island Girl finished, I was finna read Trisha's statement about you have to teach children from a young age, and keep them in church, and a mother's job is never done. But I was gonna also add, I think is I don't want to sound like I'm browbeating mothers. And I also don't want to negate the fact that all situations are different. That's not my intent. But I know it has a lot to do with generational, because it's been going on for so long. I guess that's really my point. This has been going on a long time as far as gangs in Chicago.
Well, but then you have to understand too, is that the Bible is only being fulfilled. It's only been fulfilled. I mean, we cannot set our destiny. Our destiny is already set based upon that of what we do, of what we think, what we feel, how we act in things. I mean, God has given us a free will, a free mind in things and whatnot.
Right.
And so some things is generational curses. I mean, it stems way back from what your parents did way back when and things, and it proceeds on from generation to generation to generation. At some point in time, somebody has to be the one who's a praying person that can break that curse and things. But all of this stuff that we are dealing with and stuff is all biblical. And it all stems back from the time to when Christ had walked the earth. So us trying to sit here and trying to figure out why this or why that and stuff, well then, we could be forever trying to figure out things, but it is what it is.
Yes, I'm saying the best thing a parent can do is get your child in church. That's what I would say. That's because I was raised in church, and that's the best thing my grandmother and mother has done for me, is introduce me to God. And that's somewhere to start. And instill in your child and keep trying to beat it in their head, so to speak, like repeating it. And then like I said, if you got 5 boys, they might all end up going in 5 different directions. But what you can say and be confident in yourself that you tried your best. You gave them the stones, the stepping stones in which to make it. You told them right from wrong. It's not on the mother. If one of the 5 kids or 2 of the 5 kids picked the wrong road, as long as she did her best to instill in them the right way to go and got them into church. That's what I would say.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But I guess Gina is asking, I think some kids without both parents in the home watch the reality shows, celebrities and rappers, and think, and they want fast come up and bring in the streets, and being in the streets could get them there quick. That's what I was thinking as far as the generational thing, because like I said, I know it's a different time as when I was coming up and what it's like now. And I also understand it's not just Chicago, because at first it was really, LA with a lot of gang activity in it. And it does take a village, because I know I was very afraid of the lady across the street and down the street. You had to answer while mama was at work. You had to answer to the lady across the street because she looking, you wasn't sneaking out or sneaking nobody in. Yeah. So I grew up with the village, yes.
That's right.
But I was also afraid of my mom.
Right.
And my dad, even though he wasn't in the home, he was still a parent. You understand what I'm saying? And I grew up with grandparents.
Right.
So I understand that a lot of us haven't had that. A lot of people haven't had a village.
Right. Right.
I do get that part.
Yeah, because nowadays you can't really say nothing to people's kids, because the mother gonna say, if the kid is up there climbing on the fence about to hurt themselves, get down from there. They run and tell their mother, and the mother come want to fight.
Right.
And that sort of stuff. But I know if we climb up a fence and the neighbor said get down from there, you can't tell me what to do. You better go and get your butt down the fence, and she pat you on the leg. I can't wait to get home to tell mama that lady done pat me on the head. You pat me on the leg. I know my mama gonna whip her butt, because my mama ain't for the mess. So I go tell my mother, Mom, before I tell her, get your butt in here and get that belt. Miss So-and-so told me what you done. Why didn't you get off that fence like she told you? Mama knew what time I got hit that door. And she said, well, she hit me. Well, I'm going to hit you again. You listen to that lady. Yeah. But nowadays you can't say nothing to people's kids. And I won't say nothing to nobody's kids if they're wrong, but I'm going to address the mother. So say a kid is doing something to my kid or my grandchild, I'm going to address the mother. And then if it keep occurring, or I can't keep my daughter from hitting your daughter, when they're younger and stuff, and you done told the mother 2 and 3 times, which has happened to me before, and the mother act like they can't do nothing about it, and my daughter crying, and so I said, well, I tell you what, the very next time your daughter hit my daughter, I'm not going. Me and you gonna be fighting, because since you can't hold your daughter back from hitting my daughter, I'm gonna whip your behind. Oh, she got the cussing at her daughter and stuff. Don't you touch it no more. You get upstairs. I'm going to beat you, she told her daughter.
Yeah, well, we were barred from associating with them, Yeah. If you come and sit and play in front of my mother's house and she see you doing wrong, if she couldn't chastise your kid couldn't be over there. Because as soon as one got hurt, you're going to be looking at her.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's what my mother said. Get them kids from in front of my house before they be done fell and sue me.
Get them kids from in front of my house. Yep. Don't go in nobody's house. because you don't know what folks doing in their house.
Yeah, my mother said, don't go in front of nobody's house. They can't come and play in front of my house. So we had to play in neutral. We play in the middle of the street, soccer and stuff like that. And I, for the life of me, couldn't. And you think my mother was so mean and cruel. She tell people, get from in front of my house. And, once we talk our friends to come over here and play with us, because we can't go across to their street, my mother go out the window and fuss at them. So we got to get in the middle of the street and play. And then once I got older, I figured it out because my mother was raised in the country where her parents were sharecroppers. They picked cotton and stuff, and they got on the wagon and went to the country and went to the town and sold it. Every every so often. But they were sharecroppers, and they had a big family. My grandfather was a preacher. My grandmother was like a woman evangelist and whatever. But they didn't have another house for miles. And so I guess where they got that from, get from in front of people's houses.
Right. And that's what Kelly is making reference to, about her aunt was able to make that move because of, with the help of her grandmother. Right. So it's like when we were talking last night, even families aren't as close and supportive of each other, let alone the neighbors.
Right. That's right.
And see, for me, it's a little different. I was more scared of my dad than I was my mom. Because my dad, he didn't play that. He was strict. But my mom, she always the one that baby you. Like if my dad yelled at me or something, and then she'll come and she'll hug me. But my dad, he didn't play that. He did not play that.
It was definitely my mother in the house. She was the disciplinarian.
Yeah. There aren't any eyes, Gina, on the kids these days. It has really, you could say, a lot of apron strings have been cut.
Yeah.
And I just feel so sad for the generation under me and the generation, my great nephews, now it's like, how do you help steer them or, on the right roads instead of falling into situations such as this? Because there were a lot of people involved in what happened to that young lady.
Yeah.
And it's like they just blindly, to be with the it crowd, follow this road.
Yeah. It's like a feeling like none of them must go to church. They can't. To see that and not say nothing and take part in that, they can't be church people. They can't be going to church.
I recall what made me think of this also, as I had to been like 12 or 13, and our uncle said, we were walking to the store, and he was like, okay, when we get in the store, I'm gonna pull this gun out, and I want you to take all the money out the register. And the first thing fell out my mouth was shh, because I already knew the consequences when I got home.
Right.
And his response to me, he laughed at what I said because I didn't hesitate with the curse word, okay? Right. I had totally forgotten who I was speaking to. That's the first thing. Right. But the next thing was, I knew what he was saying was wrong.
That's right.
So that what leads me back to the house. You understand what I'm saying? And he
Right.
said to me, I just wanted to know, would you go along with what somebody asked you to do?
Okay. Okay. He gave you a test
Yes.
of life. Okay.
When he said pull out a gun, child, I ain't want no dealings with that. And
Right.
taking something, no, we didn't
I
play.
want that don't belong to me. I want nothing that don't
We
belong to
play
me.
those games right there because it was consequences when you take things that don't belong to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy come, easy go. And then you always lose something in value if you do something like that to somebody.
Right.
And you can't pick what you're gonna lose once you done took from somebody.
Exactly. Exactly.
What comes around, it really does go around, whether y'all think it or not. It come around some type of way.
Exactly.
Back around.
Exactly. I mean, we even got the speeches, you don't fight girls over boys. You know what I'm saying? It was just lines drawn in the sand at
Right.
early ages
Right.
of the do's and the don'ts
Mm-hmm.
that went along with church.
Yeah. Yes.
So when we look at places, like Chicago and LA and Baltimore, and how I know drugs play a big role in that, and that fast money play a big role in that. It's like, how do we get the children back? How do we get them back?
I think you can start a lot of church programs for kids, for churches to reach out, because God is the answer if they're willing to accept. It's harder for others, but God is the answer in one way or another. I found with all things, God is the answer for me.
Yeah.
Well, you had touched upon a sensitive topic when you had said that the boys shouldn't hit the girls. Now, I was always brought up to raise. I mean, I was brought up and raised. I was brought up and raised to not hit girls. But I can tell you a story that will really shock the mess out of you guys. I literally took a beating for a whole month from this one girl. Um, my father and mother always taught me never to hit girls. And okay, so I'll just say it like this. So I was one of the ones who was instrumental in helping start this cheerleading squad that Richmond Steelers had in Richmond. My sister and some of her friends were on the squad and things, and we would always go over there in Nicholas Park, and they would go and practice at the park, practice at my mother's house, and things of that nature. And it was this one girl named Reese that had literally just was kind of like the dominant one, just like really just aggressive and things. So she used to always pick up on me because, I was the real nice, friendly guy, timid, shy, so to speak, until you piss me off. And then, I become someone else.
Yeah,
But
we met that person.
right. But I literally took a beating from her for a whole month every day. We'll go over there, get beat down and things, all because my parents told me don't hit girls. Till finally, the beginning of the next month, I said, the hell with this. I mean, I'm a little young boy, hell with this. I'm like, okay, if this girl hits me today, I am going to just knock her out. And I told my daddy that. I told my daddy and told my mother. My father said, well, a man has to do what a man has to do.
That's right.
And then my mom had said, well, I do understand, your sentiments and things, but you don't have to put yourself in that position. And then I said, well, yes, that's true. I don't have to go over there, but I said, what if it happens at any other place and things? What, am I going to just walk around here and just have people beat up on me for no reason and stuff? And you guys are telling me I shouldn't hit on girls and things? Then she just repeated what my father had to say. Well, a man has to do what a man has to do. I said, okay, so I got their blessings, so to speak. So I
Right, to
came over
lay her
to,
out.
yeah. So I came over to the park, and she hit me and things, and did all the little things and stuff. And I just kept telling her, please don't touch me, please don't touch me. I said, now if you touch me again, I'm just going to knock you out. And so she was just all ha 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 and all like that and stuff. So she just kept hitting me, and I was getting mad. I mean, it takes a lot for me to get mad, and I was just getting mad. Every time she hit me, it was just like another notch up for me to just really wall out on her and things. So finally, I just snapped. And when I snapped, I mean, oh my God, it was nasty. It was nasty. And when I say it was nasty, they had to call the ambulance on that girl. I ended up giving her 2 black eyes. I broke her arm. Her legs was all bruised up and things. Her jaw was all busted and stuff. Her lip was busted, everything. And then I dared any Negro to come over there to touch me. Don't you know that the whole football team literally stood there and watched me? The coach, everybody sat there and just watched me. And then after it was done and stuff, and they called the ambulance and took her on and things and stuff, police came. They didn't do nothing. Everybody just stood there and just looked at me because that was unbecoming of me. This little young, timid, little shy little fella and stuff. And it was just like, what happened? A monster came out and things. It's like, oh my God, we couldn't believe that you would ever do something like that. But it just goes to show that, yes, I was respectful for what my parents had taught me and things, but then it comes to a point to where, hey, when people push you, all bets is off. I mean, I get it. Never hit a woman and things, but now if a woman is that bad enough to hit a man and continue to be bad enough to hit a man, well, then I think she's bad enough to get her tail knocked down. And that's just how I feel. So I just wanted to see what you guys think about that.
Yeah, that's about right. It was time. It was time for you to let loose. Absolutely. And everybody see it's been going on for a while. Yeah.
Well, I totally disagree with
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's just me. Okay, first I said we were taught don't fight another girl over a boy. That was my statement.
Oh,
and
yeah.
boys fight girls under any circumstances. So I just wasn't raised that way. My brothers don't hit girls. My dad, he just didn't play that because you don't have to be around people to have yourself in that situation. So that's just me.
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but then at some point in time, one has to stand up for themselves. I mean, the hell with this, don't touch a girl. I feel, and I felt that way at a young age too, and that's why I got the permission of my parents and things because I didn't want to go against that of what they taught me. But still, on the same token, this is a free country. I can go anywhere that I wanted. So, regardless to whether I was taught that way or not, shit. She put her hands on me, she get decked out. That's just it. I mean, because you got to understand what if another girl or somebody was just beating up on you? don't give me this bullshit that you're just going to sit up there and let these people beat up on you like that. I mean,
No, I'm saying in the situation, because we're talking about the Kanika Jenkins case, right? So in the situation with Kanika, supposedly, was pregnant with this guy's baby. She lost the baby, and the young lady who was being pregnant with his baby was there. So in that type of scenario, we were taught as girls that you don't fight another chick over a guy. You let her have him. It ain't no discrepancy. Don't let a man play you and another woman against each other. That's what I'm saying.
Right, because that's what happened in the Kanika Jenkins case.
Exactly. So I'm still trying to bring out things for us to discuss that happened within this case.
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I just took it to a whole different level.
Yeah, you did.
I took it to a whole different. Well, I mean, I can't help it because it's like certain topics and stuff. Now you see, why I am the way that I am at things. A lot of people say that I'm just rude and obnoxious against women and things. No, that's not the case. But I had to take a beating in order to have the meeting.
Right.
Well, we just found out the real Edward.
Right. Well,
Oh, that was hilarious.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me and you won't be touched.
Yeah. Just like my mother said. She said, if you come home from school from fighting, if you get suspended from school from fighting, you're going to get your whipping. The whole time you suspended, you're going to get your whipping every day. And then I tell them, well, Mama, how about if they hit you first? She said, well, if they hit you first, then you can knock the hell out of them.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because somebody had been hitting me first and I wouldn't hit them back because I was scared to get suspended. And I finally told my mother, well, they hit me first. And she said, well, they hit you first, then you knock the hell out of them.
Well, I know the topic. I mean, I know that the title says positive vibes, but that was positive because I turned the negative into a positive, right?
Because it got settled.
Right, it got settled. So she didn't hit the news. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, you took us all the way to the left with that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Woo. And I didn't want to, be disrespectful, and get hit or nothing.
Right.
But my point was, picking out things within this case, of situations that young lady was in. Everything the people have been saying as far as issues in the case. Well, she was taking, she took somebody money and, his new baby mama, we were just taught, not to go into that. Gina says church program is cool in her neighborhood. Yes. We bought 40 kids in church. It was a family church, and the elders of the church wanted the church the way the elders ran it. Yeah, sometimes that's best though.
Yeah. Back in the day, the best times.
Yeah,
but
sometimes.
We did a whole lot of complaining then about the way we were reared up in church and stuff. And now we see the benefit of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We see the benefit of why we were in church 3 or 4 times a week, for choir practices and all this stuff.
Yeah. And Gina saying the children got frustrated. Yes, because they still do have their own mind, and you do have to give a child some leeway to make decisions on their own. But the parent still have to be there to guide those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, when we came up, all our decisions was made for us. When we came up, children were made to listen and not be heard.
That's right.
You know,
No matter who was talking, if they were an adult, that's who you listen to.
that's right. That's right. That's no question.
And as long as they didn't touch you inappropriately, you showed them respect.
Yeah, but you know what? Nowadays they do have a lot of parents. I see some parents be into the drug stuff. They either be high or just in that mentality, and they mistreat kids. Like, I mean, they talk bad to kids. Like, they'll get high in front of kids. Like I'm saying, on the street. Like, if you send your kid to the store, there might be people, standing in front of certain houses and stuff, just getting high and stuff. Okay, when my kids were raised, I tried to raise my kids the way I was, not all the way, but half the way how I was raised, where is to always respect your elders. And I tell my son, yeah, respect your elders and stuff. I told all my kids and stuff, and my son had said something. He said something bad to somebody. I said, why did you say that to that person? And he said, I told y'all to respect your elders. He said, Mom, but they be getting high in front of us and everything and all this stuff. And I said, oh, well, come tell me, don't say nothing back to them. I had to tell him, before you say respect your elders. And now there's elders don't respect kids. And so that's some of why times are really changing, because there's adults that sit there on the street and get high in front of kids, on the grass, kids at the playground. They're at the playground. You find all kind of needles at these playgrounds.
Yeah.
Where adults do not respect children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you find where kids don't respect adults, and half of the kids have ran into adults like these. See what I'm saying? So it's just a mess. It's a mess.
Well, I want to ask a question. Now, you all say that you're supposed to respect your elders. Well, what if you have them elders that just kind of take you there? They kind of
that's what I'm speaking about. Yeah, that's why it was just meaning. So some elders just do not respect kids.
Right? Yeah. Because you have some elders out here that will just curse you out for no reason or just pure mean. And no matter how you try to be nice to them, they still being mean. So it's kind of hard to respect them.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I do. And yes, children are people too and deserve respect. So I understand exactly what you're saying. But I'm gonna say the generation behind us, because I've never, not really experienced that where I had to go, and tell on an adult. I've never had that, but I have heard of children in the generation under me have dealt with that, and they were told, you still come and tell me, and you let me deal with that adult, meaning for teachers and stuff like that. That way, even though they're wrong as a child, you shouldn't correct them.
Two wrongs don't make no right.
Right.
Well, now, okay, here we go.
I knew, I knew he was gonna come. I knew it.
See, there again, I've been raised in church and stuff, been raised, and I love the elders. Trust me, I love them to death. And I've been one that opened up the doors for the elders and help them up the stairs and in the cars and things of that nature. But me being a very nice young man, a lot of injustice has been played up against me for a long time. And so, although I respect my elders and things, and it's just like what you said. Some of these elders, they're raunchy, they're rude, they're nasty. They, get under your skin. They do all of this kind of stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I have the attitude that I have now, because a lot of injustice has been played on me when I was a child, because I was just too good. I was just the church kid, so to speak. And a lot of people, they didn't like that because their kids was ruling, honoring things, and I was always respectful. And so I had a lot of people take a lot of stuff out on me, telling me, and this is why I don't like for people to tell me, what to do and stuff, because I got reprimanded, so to speak, just because they lied on me.
Yeah.
They said this, they said that, and so on and so forth. So now I teach my son, look, if somebody is being disrespectful to you and things, okay, yes, true enough, be respectful. But if they continue to keep doing the things that they're doing, even though that you had mentioned it to them and stuff, well, then, something, you go bite, beat the hell out of them, kick them, scream, scratch, do whatever and things. Then you come to me and then I'll beat the hell out of them. Because, and I take this attitude because, this is a different generation, people. Let's get real. This stuff ain't happening like we were back in the days. These kids is ornery and rude and obnoxious and things like that. And so, the kids have to protect themselves.
That's right.
Let's get real. We ain't living back in when I was growing up and, they take the switches and things like that.
Right.
These people, they will take it to the extreme with these kids. So I told my child, if anybody ever say anything to you or touch you or whatever, you get the closest thing to you, hit them where it hurts.
That's right.
And then come tell me. Now, a lot may not agree with that and stuff, but I mean, I'm just keeping it real because, like I said, I have endured a lot as growing up and things. Now, I come from a loving family and things. My mother was very loving to me. Father was very loving. Church members and things was very loving. But you always had that one or two that just literally got under your skin, and it was because of them is what made me today.
Right.
I grew up where a lot of people hated my guts, and I couldn't understand that. For what reason? I loved on you. I did for you. I cared for you. I provided and, did everything and stuff. But still, I got reprimanded because you lied. Well, you need to do this. You need to do that. I don't need to do a thing right now, So I'm older now. But I take all of that anger, pain, resentment, and things, I carry it now because I had to carry it as a child. I couldn't say nothing as a child.
Right.
I couldn't say nothing until I was 18. And then when I became 18, oh man, I let loose. And people couldn't understand why I'm letting loose now. Why didn't I say anything from the beginning? You didn't hear me. I told you, but you didn't hear me.
Right. Right. Hi, Tiffany. Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hi, Tiffany.
You guys are making me. Hello, Tiffany.
Hey,
It's a blessing to see you in
for a
here.
minute, but I was debating on if I was going to tap in or not. My throat hurt a little bit today. I don't think I'm going to do too much talking.
Well, they're touching on topics that really touch me. So
That wasn't my intention, Edward. I didn't mean to get you all worked up.
No. I mean, that's good though, because see, this helps you all get to know who Edward is and why he has been doing the things that he's been doing. Now you can understand. My childhood was great, excellent. Don't get me wrong. Perfect in every way, but you always had those few elders that just really got under your skin, and it was because of them. It's why I got reprimanded so much, and it's what made me the way that I am today. And to tell you the truth, and I know I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm so glad that they're gone because
wow.
Yeah, really. I'm so glad that they're gone because not only did they do this to me, but they did it to others.
Yeah.
They ruined. Well, my life is not ruined because I grew up. I got a good job. Family, kids, and things like that and stuff. But the other kids, they pushed them to drugs. They pushed them to prostitution. They pushed them to doing all of this other stuff, murders and robbing and things of that nature. And that's what I resent the most is that these kids did not have a chance because of them.
Right.
And then when I look at it with TM, this is why I can't stand TM to the degree because I'm looking at her and I'm like, you didn't even give your daughter a chance.
Right.
And not only your daughter, but these other kids, these were babies.
Right.
These were babies, and these babies is being brought up in this type of environment. This is why I'm so passionate about this case and why I am going so hard and so much so on TM because this is what I've literally seen growing up.
Okay. Well, I've always been told I have a look, and I recall getting many spankings because of that look. And hello, my.
Hey, my.
I consider it a blessing for me in disguise. But as I've gotten older, it's been a curse because everything I think is written all over my face. So even though I be trying to be, conceal it, I can't conceal it. It's there. So I have to avoid a lot of things because people take that look, my expression sometimes the wrong way when that don't be my intention. And I have to agree with you, Edward, that this is not like when we grew up. It's a totally different generation. And that's why I was saying, how can we help the children now, the generations? Because I have 2 under me, 1, 2, 3 under me thus far.
Hey Trish, hey Gina, hey Mama.
We were talking about where are the mothers, Tiffany, and this situation of all the gang members.
Okay, I was listening. I was checking those stuff.
Oh, okay.
Well, Charnetta, kind of go back to what you're saying when you said that you had that look. Well, I get in trouble because I speak my mind. And I always just, I don't know, I get in trouble because I say what's on my mind.
Well,
And
you don't get in trouble. You don't get on trouble on here.
because I just say what's on my mind. And
What comes to mind come out your mouth.
yeah,
I say what comes to mind, and I don't get in trouble. So I'm trying to understand.
because I almost almost got kicked out of church.
No, she wasn't cutting up in church.
Come on, Island girl.
See, what had happened was
Yeah, Mama, I'm so sick too.
it was this lady. She was on the Ursula board, and I was chewing gum, and it's the way she came at me. And she's like, "You can't chew gum in here." So I'm like, okay. And she's like, "You need to take it out. And you can't chew gum in here. What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Lady, if you don't stop yelling at me." And then she's like, I'm just telling you, you can't eat gum in this church. Who do you think you are?" I was like, "You better find out who I am in a minute."
She's talking to you as you're an adult, Island girl?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't feel right talking to her like that, but she kind of pushed me there.
What's funny is when Elliot was talking about, he said, well, he's had a good life, but there's been a few bumps in the road, like a few adults that didn't act accordingly.
Right.
I was laughing on the inside because I had to think about a few adults that were kind of mean to children. And right off the top of my head, I thought about the head of the usher board. They be in that church because we was ushers in the church and stuff, and she ordered us around. If we're talking, she goes right over there and says, "Zip your mouth," and she go around with a napkin and get everybody's gum.
My elder, and I had to flip on this lady one day. I swear. She said, I was only probably, I want to say maybe 33 or 32 at the time, and she had to be in her 60s. So it was break time. So I went to put my food in the microwave. She sat down. So I'm in there waiting for my food to come. Why the lady come in and just take the food out the microwave and put her food in there? Oh my God, I hopped up so fast, I didn't even know what happened. Yeah, she just took my food out the microwave while it was still cooking. I said, okay, you doing too far, lady.
Yeah. Sometimes them little old ladies push you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, some old folks like that. Yeah, some old folks like that are set in their own way. Just like the usher at the church and stuff, she's set in her own way. She been telling people that for years, and she gonna keep on telling folk that same thing.
Yeah, but see, all she had to do was just ask me nicely.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to bump her, but
oh, you done bumped her too?
Oh wow, you're doing too much.
Y'all didn't hear that.
Setting it off.
Y'all didn't hear that. Y'all did not hear that.
I need some bail money for this one.
Right. The church lady.
I didn't bump her hard. I just kind of bump her to a little bit.
Okay. Like they say, ain't nothing wrong with a little bump, I guess. Ain't that how the song goes? No song.
Yeah, so silly. After I went off on the lady, I felt bad. I'm like, but
I hope you feel better.
stuff out the microwave. No,
I hope you're feeling better too.
I'm trying. I mean, I have felt too bad, but my throat more so. I don't feel like I need like I can do a lot of speaking and it like hurts a little bit.
And you trying to talk,
And
girl?
it's a lightheaded.
Hello, lady.
Ed Love Me says he loved the honesty. And Gina Mama sung in the choir, and she had that look too, you know. They had to sit on the front row so she can snap them back into place.
Oh, Mama didn't have to worry nothing about it because the head of the usher board, she'll go around it, and when she see kids acting up, she tell them to shh, or she'll take them on downstairs. She'll take them from the mom and take them around downstairs because the kids can hear what's going on upstairs. There's a speaker down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They ran that church, boy. You think they didn't?
Yeah. Yeah, you learn many lessons in there. Very many lessons you learned in church.
When you chewing that gum, you know to stop chewing when you see the usher lady come by.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm
Good
okay.
evening.
My chest has been just bothering me a lot.
Oh,
You need to get it checked out.
I know. I had missed my appointment last week.
You rescheduled already?
Huh?
Did you reschedule?
Oh yeah. Yep. Actually, I didn't know that it was for this Friday. They actually called me today.
Okay.
But no, that's good. No, because I gotta get a sonogram on my heart too as well.
Well, I'll be praying for you. Hope
Okay.
Get better.
yeah, but dealing with the heart, you know, it's not, you know, I know Friday, but don't wait till it just get too bad. If you have to, go to urgent care.
I know. Well, I just found out that I had a heart murmur.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and they did an EKG, and then they scheduled me for the sonogram, cardiovascular.
Yeah, don't play with that.
I know, because I just lost two really close friends this week.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's been a rough week.
Sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry to hear
No
you under the
problem.
weather.
No, thank you.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how old you are these days, you know.
I'm gonna keep you in my prayers.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah, just take it easy. Don't be lifting too much.
No, I only lift my hand to my mouth.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
For real, I eat. But that's about it, you know. I don't got no little ones no more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take care of yourself.
I know, and that's a problem. I definitely have for the past few years. Just when you just get depressed and stressed out, and your back is against the wall, you're worried about too much, and you just tend to not pay attention to what's really important.
Right.
So I definitely
sending his prayers up for you too.
Definitely.
You know what I do when I'm feeling depressed, like one of my down days. Well, every morning I try to get up with gospel on my TV or somebody preaching on my TV.
Yeah.
On my depressed level, I might listen to it all day. I might listen to it all week long. Nothing but gospel's coming through my house.
Yeah. No, that's definitely. It definitely helped me because there was a time in my life when I went away for a little bit, and I definitely opened up the Bible and was just reading and writing scriptures every day and things that I felt related to, how I felt inside. And I tell you no lie, when I finally started paying attention to what God was trying to get me to pay attention to and got closer to him, so many blessings and answers to my prayers and just things just started going right in my life.
Right.
You know, and then you get a little too comfortable and you get sidetracked. So like now, I got to bring myself back.
Right.
So I definitely agree with that.
Right.
Faith is
Edward said,
definitely important.
has anybody talked to Miss Durham?
No.
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 I hope she's okay.
Who?
Miss Durham.
Durham?
Yeah, she be on here.
How long has it been since she's been on?
Oh,
Couple days.
couple of days.
Maybe.
The weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Well, did you want to chime in on the subject?
What were you guys talking about?
Where are the mothers of all of these gang members?
Jesus, I ask that question all the time. I mean, I asked that question when we watching the case.
Right.
Like, is this, these parents are not involved? I just don't understand, especially for female children, like female girls, young ladies. How are the parents not involved with just the way they're living their life, the things that's going on? I just don't understand that.
And then a lot of these younger parents, they probably so busy ripping and running streets themselves that they're not paying attention to what their kids are actually doing.
Excuse me, Trish, I definitely agree. She said the sage my home, and remove like negativity. I definitely agree with that.
You know what, y'all? I heard. Okay, I keep hearing about this sage stuff, right? So I've always heard about this sage stuff. So this one time I said, well, I'm gonna get me some sage. So I went to the store and got me some sage, and I'm gonna burn it. But because I get all the help that I accept, I get is usually from God. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to invite any other entities into it. And so I don't know nothing about no sage, but I hear about it, I stay away from it. But then you hear people talking more about it. It comforts you. It gets all the evil spirits out. Just take and burn you some sage, and then they say, and plus it smells good.
Yeah, my mom used to do it on the morning weekends when she's cleaning.
Yeah, they must have knew that. You know how the devil, they say God knows your heart. In some kind of way, somebody knows that I'm into aromatherapy, because then I heard the word, it smells good. It makes your whole house smell fresh. So I ended up getting some. It was about a couple months ago. And I had it so long, it got old and I threw it away, right? But I got the fresh sage and I was thinking about burning it. And then I watched something on TV pertaining to God and stuff. And they were saying you're not supposed to honor these different entities like sage and different stuff like that. I said, well, I guess I won't be using that. And I never used it. My son came to the house, Mom, what are you doing with this? I said, well, I was going to burn it. He said, Mom, you was going to burn sage? I said, yeah, but I changed my mind. He said, Mom, it's old now. I said, I know, throw it away.
I know at our church, they sell the frankincense and myrrh, little candles. Well, not, you would burn them like candles, but they in little incense like form.
Right.
And it smelled like the Holy Spirit to me.
I wonder what Edward thinks about sage. I wonder what all of y'all think about sage.
I've never burned it before.
Yeah, I never burned it.
So what you supposed to burn it, or because I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, that's why I would like to, if Edward's listening, for him to clarify, is it um coming out of spirituality?
Well, I don't know, because you know what? Honestly, I'm from the islands, so we do things different. When my mother would do it, she would mix it with other things, and I mean, I was too young to understand what exactly she was doing, but I just knew it was a lot of smoke, and she would put it in each room. Yeah.
Somebody's got their TV on in the background.
Yeah. It didn't work on you.
So Edward, can you chime in? What do you think about sage?
Okay, just before I give that answer, somebody is moving their mic so much. I don't know if you have a headset on or something, but you're consistently moving the mic, so we're getting kind of like this muffled like sound and things. So people check your phones or things like that. Everybody is sounding good, but somebody's just consistently moving. So
okay.
Sage, well, I mean, you know, we burnt sage, we burnt incense, we burnt all of these other different types of things and stuff. I don't really give into what a lot of these people say. I say that whatever works for you, whatever connection that you have with God, let that be, but honor him in whatever manner that you see fit, as long as it's respectable and it's acceptable to him, not to what we think, but to him. And he will give you the utterance in your heart and things. I know that the priesthood uses a lot of incense and things. You know, the Catholics and things, they burn a lot of incense and things of that nature. But I mean, whatever works for you, it's
I can't
fine.
stand burning incense.
Huh?
I like burning.
Okay,
Like my fiance, I can burn them. I like go back to
no.
I was just concerned.
Do you guys hear that noise?
Yeah, that came from Tiffany's phone.
It couldn't have came. Well, is it doing it now?
Yeah, it's doing it now. Somebody needs to come back out. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
My major concern with the sage was I was just making sure it's not inviting an entity into your home, unlike God. That's all. So
well,
as long as I burn it, smell good, that sounds good.
I think, like Edward said, it boils down to the relationship with your God, that spirituality right there.
Okay, so with my relationship with God, I think if I was to burn sage, as long as I know it's not has nothing to do with the devil or anything like that. If I was to burn it, it would just be for the smell. It wouldn't be for any.
Oh no, it definitely has nothing to do with the devil.
No,
okay.
Can we all one by one exit the chat and then come back in, because it's like it's getting worse. Okay, I'm gonna exit the chat and I'm gonna come back in. Okay, is that better?
Hello.
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 Yeah, I mean, can you guys still hear it?
Yes.
Can everybody exit the chat and then come back in?
Yeah, I only hear it when you talk, Edward.
Oh, it only does it when I talk?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go out and then tell me. Type in a text in a chat to see if it's still doing it.
See how it gets quiet when he leaves? But then, wait, I think I am hearing it.
I don't know how to.
No, I kind of.
I know, right, Trish? Like I never burnt. I know. It's not for me.
Okay, do you guys hear when I talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It kind of sounds like wind is
Yeah.
blowing in the
Like
phone.
it's kind of wind.
Yeah.
Y'all hear it when I talk?
Nope.
No.
What about me?
Nope.
No.
Okay, I'll go out. Y'all hear it now?
No.
No.
Because I haven't touched it.
Okay. All right. I have my friend. This is Evangelist Shauna Davis. Hello, Miss Shauna Davis. Let me go ahead and put the invite in so you can come on in. Now, peoples, this is a powerful woman of God right here. This is my buddy. This is my buddy. This is my road dog. Not to say dog, but this is my road queen.
Okay.
Shauna, come on and click the link and come on in. Join the panel.
It's kind of echoing a little.
Click the link. This link right here. Click that link and then come and join the panel. In the chat, you have to click the link in the chat. So right in the chat where you're talking, click this link and then come on to the panel. I think it's happening when I talk, huh?
Yeah. It's echoing.
Okay. All right, let me take this thing off and I'm gonna come back in. Well, if you guys can help her get on, that'd be great.
Tish says she's sorry she mentioned Sage.
Oh no! I want to ask somebody about it, and I never got around to asking anybody about it. And if I'm unsure, I'm not going to just burn it. You know what I mean? I started to, but I said let me ask more questions first.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who use Sage.
Because I think I heard one. I heard it in reference of somebody using it for voodoo one time, and I said, "Oh no, I'm not." Yeah, so get me away from
No, you need a couple items to do that.
They might be doing some type of witchcraft. I don't know. Interesting.
So when you're unsure, just don't use it. Ask a couple of people. So I asked y'all a couple of people. Thank you.
No, you're fine.
Get a different response every time.
Okay, Mama Dora, you said you can do the demons in instead of putting.
They said it smells good, and I am into aromatherapy, and so.
Oh, okay.
I
Do
believe
you
it works with
burn
energy.
oil or wax?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I do those.
Yeah, I love the oils.
Yeah, I'm really into. I like aromatherapy.
Yes.
Now, what do you do with the what do you call that?
Frankincense.
The the aloe vera plant.
Oh, it'll help grow your hair. It has many good plants. Yeah,
You can eat
keep a
it,
lot of
clean
moisture.
your insides out, but it tastes terrible, but it does wonders for your insides, they say.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful.
And
They
it
actually
grows
sell it
here.
in the market that I go to at a few markets.
I mean, so what do you do? Cut it up or boil it or?
No, you scrape the inside, like you cut it down the middle, not like half, but down the middle.
You cut the sharp sides off both sides of it first, and then you know,
Yeah, and then
yeah.
the skin part comes up around it, like you peel it.
We all know about
Squeeze the
aloe.
gel.
uh,
Yeah, you
and
can squeeze the
it takes scar. It's good for scars. If you have a scar or a burn, it get rid of it probably 7 times faster than an antibiotic or ointment.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's real powerful. I love aloe vera.
very good.
I just really got into it maybe years ago. Do y'all still hear that? Huh? Still hear it.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah.
You can make aloe oil by frying it in a frying pan
Oh
with little
wow.
Oh.
So that'll be good on scars and stuff.
Oh yeah. You have to
Yeah, it's
just
real good on
take the skin off and rub it right on you.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
good for your
I
hair.
did
Like
that.
I put it in my hair.
I put it on my face and it took
Moisture.
all the bumps and all the scars off my face.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
It do a
girl.
lot. You just take
I
it and
used to
rub it
do it
on your face.
every morning when I brushed my teeth. I
My
mixed it
neighbor.
with don't laugh. I mixed it with butt paste.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute.
But it had
mixed it with what?
butt paste.
I've heard of that before.
Yeah, it's it's the protective cream that they give you. They put on you like in the hospital and stuff for like diaper rash and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
and
mix
it had
aloe
aloe in it too, and I had got the aloe plant, and it would keep oozing and releasing the gel.
Right.
And I would mix it. I would wash my face when I got up in the morning, and then I would put it over my face, and I wouldn't wash it off. I can't remember. Did I wash it off? No, I don't think I washed it off. No, I think I just left it.
Lie. He
So
said
you
if
use
it
it for
goes off,
overnight
it's like
treatment.
that.
Yeah, because I'm light, so when you get to playing with your face, if you got a black head and you be like, oh gosh, I gotta get rid of
You're not
this.
supposed to squish it or get black.
Yes, yeah. So I had used it because I I was following these white girls where I was at. They had that Zenith cream. You put the Zenith cream on the pimple, but see, I had broke out on my face, so I put it like all over my cheek. And no one told me to just put like a spot just on the area. But I rubbed it in, and next thing you know, a few minutes later, my face was on fire.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I had severe burns.
I hate to interrupt people's. I may end up having to do a new live. I'm gonna cancel this one out. I'm just going to sign off of here, and then I'm gonna sign right back on so we can have a fresh start on this, because this is kind of getting irritating. And the conversation is excellent, but this noise is like crazy.
No
So
problem.
I'm gonna cancel this live, and then I'm gonna you guys just sign right back on.
Okay.
So I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon today. Tune in again next time when Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live, Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2022 will come to you with something. Wait a minute, it's gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
You think maybe too many people are on the live at one time?
No, who just
Well,
canceled
who hung
out?
up?
I think Mama left.
No,
Oh,
I'm
there
here.
it is. Okay,
There
there it is.
it is.
Right.
You just stopped
Yeah,
because I
it's no,
muted
it's still
myself.
going
We
again.
spoke too soon.
Yeah, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon today. Tune in again next time to when Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live, Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2022 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. People's mask up and be safe. And people's, I'm going to be right back on. God bless you. Thank you for watching.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, peoples, I am back. Well, that was Ladies' Night. And Charnetta was the host on tonight. Peoples, I hope you had enjoyed Ladies' Night. We're going to come back right back with Ladies' Night Part 2. Going to come back with Ladies' Night Part 2. And we're just going to keep the fun continuing, peoples. And this is going to be Ladies Night Part 2 with Charnetta as being the host. So I'm not going to prolong this further, peoples. I see my peoples came in. Hello, Tony G. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Tony G had says, hello, Gina, to you. And then I see Mr. Carmelo Turner had came in. Hello, Carmelo Turner. How are you, my friend? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. And Carmelo Turner says, I 100% rock with you on this one. All right, people. So you guys be blessed. Get your rest, which I was doing. I was knocked out sleep because I've already watched the live many times and stuff. So I just wanted to sit back and get a little bit of rest. But unfortunately, my live went out and stuff. I don't know how long it's been out, but you know, it's been out. But y'all come on back because we're going to be right back, people. I'm just going to put the title on here and put part 2 on here. And we're just going to continue to keep rocking this. And this is going to be part 2 with Charnetta as being the host. So you guys be blessed, get your rest, and come on right back, peoples. And let's listen to what the ladies had to say. So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon tonight. Tune in again next time to an Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live. Edward Joseph Kitchen. Edward Joseph Gospel Hour. Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2026 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, I will be right back with part 2, so you don't want to miss that. So until then, peoples, God bless you all. Thank you for watching.